Welcome to the pre-match show presented by the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Visit brianburts.com or call 915-751-1500.
Downtown El Paso on a beautiful Saturday evening. Tonight, East versus West as El Paso Locomotive FC hosts Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Duke Keith alongside Colin Deaver, the hardest working man in sports business. Happy to be with you as Locomotive FC taking on Pittsburgh and a week off. My goodness, what's going on, Colin?
Hey, you got a week off too. Glad you're back with me tonight.
Thank
by the
you
way.
very much. I
the
appreciate
guys,
that.
those players for Locomotive though, 3 matches in 7 days to open the season. You would have thought that they would have liked to have been off last week, maybe go visit some family. Most of them we spoke to actually would have preferred to have played last week because of the strong form that they had against Orange County SC 2 weeks ago. But nonetheless, you get a chance to take a break on tax day, no less, last Saturday. You're back to work now, and it's time to go get another victory.
We'll see for the Locomotive as they get back into action. Let's take a look at the Western Conference standings. And, of course, the team Locomotive led off the season with and a loss to Sacramento Republic. The first opponent back on March 11th. They topped the standings. They've only conceded 2 goals. El Paso has 1 of those. Last year's champion San Antonio also toward the top along with San Diego Loyal. El Paso, importantly, above the playoff line in 7th place. Remember, Locomotive did play 3 matches in a week to start the season. But a big win in Louisville, picked up points in Tulsa, and a quality performance versus Orange County, the game you called, Colin. The Locos in much better form.
Yeah, not easy to get going with a new head coach, new system, new players. So we knew this would take a little bit of time to get right. But what's most impressive in this recent run of form, Duke, is how much better Locomotive has been playing defensively. A clean sheet versus Louisville City on the road, another clean sheet at home versus Orange County 2 weekends ago. So players are getting healthy, and you have your key players contributing. Petar Petrovic looking like what we expected to see when he transferred over in the offseason from Sweden, and Lucho Solonyak now with 3 goals on the season.
And they will need that firepower tonight. Pittsburgh, very strong defensive team that doesn't concede goals, only 4 on the season. And Albert Dequa, the guy who scored himself a hat trick earlier this season, can put pressure definitely on El Paso's back line.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That was the focus this week, defending a very athletic Pittsburgh team. As head coach Brian Clareout told us, the Riverhounds can seemingly create chances out of nowhere, but on the El Paso side, 90 shots leads the league, and you're playing at home and rested, so the confidence is there.
After the past 3 games, they should be worried about us too. So we will make them uncomfortable at home, and we know no matter who is playing at our home, we need to win. So they might be worried.
It's going to be a big-time battle tonight. Quality defending versus aggressive attacking. East versus West. Pittsburgh versus El Paso. Moments away.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT.
You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah! I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT.
You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome back, everybody. It is El Paso Locomotive Soccer Duke Keith along with Colin Deaver with you as we take a look at the starting lineups tonight. First for Locomotive FC, and I think notable is the fact that there really isn't a whole lot that's different from the last game you called a couple of weeks ago, Colin. Lucho up front, Petar Petrovic, who's having himself a season. Also nice to see Mark Navarro on the bench.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So my dad always said that lineup got them a victory last 2 weeks ago, that is. And like you said, Mark Navarro, after missing 3 matches, back tonight for El Paso. We'll see how much he's going to play. I would imagine we will see him at some point, though he is dynamic on that right wing as a defender for El Paso.
Eric Calvillo modeling tonight's fit. Those dark blue unis, love that look. Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC 2-1-3, 9 points, 4th in the Eastern Conference. There's the man you want to look for tonight. Number 9, Albert Diqua.
Yeah, 4 goals on the season. That's tied for second in USL Championship. Has a hat trick on the year. Also scored a goal last week for Pittsburgh in their win at against RGV. So he is key to everything that they do. 3
on the road is where Pittsburgh will find itself after the start of this match, and we are underway from Southwest University Park. Locomotive, its second consecutive home match, and Locomotive looking early for the man tied currently for all-time leading goal scorers in Locomotive history with his buddy Aaron Gomez, who's on the bench. Lucho Solignac. And a deep throw in. Pittsburgh had to put it in touch. Good work by Eder Borelli. Notable that he's worked his way into the lineup, and I think much like Mark Lowry, kind of had to get used to the fact of what his game was. But Eder Borelli, quality on the ball every time he touches it.
Yeah, he's been so fantastic for this club ever since he came over from FC Juarez a few years ago. Has worked his way into the lineup for every single manager and head coach that has been here. And small in stature, but the impact he made has always been big.
It's a nifty back heel to keep things moving for Pittsburgh. Edward Kiza will head back. Arturo Ordonez, I think notable missing for them tonight. Daniel Rovira. Rovira was kind of an integral part, I think, in that left back position. Helps apply a lot of the pressure that Pittsburgh had been able to really put to RGV, especially last week. He's out of the lineup, as is Etu.
Yeah, Rovira, 5 matches played on the year, 4 starts as well. So, and an assist. So, as you said, as you mentioned, key to their attack for Pittsburgh. So we'll see how much they miss him this evening.
This will be a run down, and that'll be a foul drawn. Now to throw in. Good job down the line by Miles Lyon, the Barcelona Academy man.
And he was fantastic 2 weeks ago. Again, filling in for Mark Navarro, a former Premier League defender. And Miles, a young kid, I don't even know if he's 20 years old yet. He has just been so impressive early in this season for El Paso.
Miles Lyons is 20.
Ought to be young.
Right. Tell me about it.
I'm 32 now.
Oh,
I'm at the
on.
ripe old age of 32.
Look at you. Look at you in your pomp, buddy. There's the captain, Yuma. Great to see Benny Diaz doing Benny Diaz things. That guy, the distribution with the ball at his feet has simply been spectacular all season long. So calm, cool, and collected.
He had a line drive kick to, I think it was actually Miles Lyons in the first half last week that just hit him in stride, and they got a great chance out of it. So fantastic, as you said, with the ball at his feet, comfortable, but also those drop kicks where he'll get the ball out quickly. That can be a weapon for El Paso if they choose to use it that way.
I think only the second goalie assist in Locomotive history with that beautiful touch to Ricardo Zacarias in Tulsa. Yuma back and forth. Liam Rose. Locomotive, a lot of the possession early on. 83% passing completion, right where they left off last season. That part has not gone away. And here's Bence Pakovic. Bence in from the right wing. The Hungarian earns Locomotive a throw. It's all the men in dark blue through the opening 5 minutes. Rose. Nice through ball to Calvillo. Rakovic. Back to Yuma. Locomotive will be patient. And then Borelli over the top. It's Lucho trying to control the cutback. Near post, what a save, and it's knocked just wide before Zacarias can be there.
Jamali Waite, the goalkeeper for Pittsburgh, has had stints with the Jamaican national team this season in the last year or so, and you're seeing why right there. That was going in the goal. Kick save and a beauty, but El Paso will get the corner. 3 penalty kick stops in a playoff shootout win versus Birmingham last season. This is a young man to keep your eye on. 7 clean sheets in his first professional season in 2022. And they needed every bit of his 6'1" frame to keep that out of the back of the net. What a cutback by Lucho. And this will be Petar Petrovic. Short corner to Calvillo and back. That's a man you don't want to let loose along the byline. Throws in a nice ball. Borelli can't get there in time, and it'll be out for a goal kick. Foul in the box. You see, I thought Petar Petrovic's game 2 weeks ago versus Orange County, one of the most impressive games of football we've seen from any player this year for Locomotive. And I think you're trying to see, or seeing them try to get him a little more involved early on, right there on that short corner, and how he can kind of attack the defense one-on-one. He's very elite at that.
They'll turn it over. Good header by Kenardo Forbes, and here comes Pittsburgh. They can make something out of nothing, and the shot turned away. Dikwa. It's a good job. I think that was Liam Rose who got a piece. Sent back up and long. It will be a goal kick for Benny Diaz. So Pittsburgh showing flashes down the field in a hurry. And Liam Rose, an important intervention just by being in the right place at the right time. Pressure applied, but Diaz, very much the modern keeper. First touch of the evening for Denis Kostishin. I think Kostishin and Petar Petrovic, we have yet to see, I think, those players at full stride, full strength. And when they get loose, my goodness. And let's take a look at our Casa Ford keys to the game.
Yeah, certainly, Duke, for El Paso. I mean, it's defend and transition. This is a very opportunistic, very athletic Pittsburgh team. You just saw that on the counterattack right there. So El Paso will have to defend in transition, defend in their box as well. That was a key that Brian Clairhout mentioned to us a couple of times in his media availability earlier this week. And last but not least, you got to convert on their chances. El Paso is both Lucho and Petar Petrovic back in good form and healthy. We will see how those two players maybe can link up a little bit in their action tonight.
Nicely done by Eder Borelli to earn the foul. That little cutback gives Locomotive some breathing room. Loose on that right wing side, Kenardo Forbes, the 34-year-old. The Rochester Raging Rhinos is where he came to Pittsburgh from. A little bit of USL trivia for you. Was it USL? I forget where they were when that happened. Last under first division team to win a Lamar Hunt US Open Cup in 1998. Rochester Rhinos.
How did you know that?
Been around a little bit, buddy. Been around the game a little bit. This is interesting, too. This is not the Riverhounds' first trip to El Paso.
Okay.
2 prior visits to El Paso in 2001 to play the El Paso Patriots. This is a team in Pittsburgh that's been around since 1998.
Did you call that game, too?
I was around it, I'm sure. I don't remember calling it. They didn't do a lot of play-by-play for Patriot soccer, but possibly on the microphone.
This is why we have Duke in the booth. Good to have you back, my friend.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here, really. Although I did watch your broadcast on television, I thought you did a great job. Fun game to watch.
Just trying to sound...
Little trouble here. Dikwa. Forbes. cut back, and Diaz will control, and great cutout by Yuma to get a piece of that. The Locomotive defense, they're all shouting at each other now, but they did their job.
However it gets done, they'll be happy with it again. Working on another clean sheet. Of course, had one against Orange County 2 weeks ago. Have to defend in transition as they are right now.
What a bounce here. Great job by White, though, to come off his line, realizing the danger with Zacarias barreling in. And solid as well, I think, by Edward Kizza just to be where he needed to be. Strike it, that's not Kizza, that's Joe Farrell. Big center back did just enough to get in Zacarias' way. And the man with the physique of an NFL running back did get around him, but not in time. Young man from Las Cruces, of course, Strikers FC, a part of those great teams. Our man Memo, former Locomotive winger, and currently with the Oakland Roots. A couple of other players in Major League Soccer and around the USL as well. Early caution issued as Borelli taken down again, and I think that's coming to Kenardo Forbes. Our referee tonight, Malik Badawi. Bennett Savage, Cameron Seiler on the touch lines. Drew Player is your fourth. So 11th minute yellow card to Forbes.
Borelli did 3 or 4 cartwheels after he went down to the field there, so certainly took a cleat to the ankle, to the shin. Doesn't feel good. He's showing our referee now.
And that's actually Luke Biasi. So not Forbes, it's Biasi who receives the caution in the 11th minute. And Ed Borelli has taken some abuse on those sidelines.
One of the smaller guys on the field, right. So he'll get knocked around a little bit, but always gets back up.
Borelli's service is so clutch. Get him loose and let him have room to send in a ball. It's on a platter most of the time. Former team captain for FC Juarez Bravos, I think is captain in a couple of places. Liga MX and here in the USL with Locomotive Soccer. Pittsburgh with some possession. What can they do? Mark Ibarra. They'll switch it way out right over everybody's head. And another throw. So a couple of good touches for Pittsburgh around the 18, but Locomotive is doing what they need to do to snuff things out right now, Colin.
And that's something that Brian Clairhout has discussed quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, how they've been really compact defensively in the last few matches. They're starting to figure out his system both defensively and offensively, and really, Duke, a lot of the goals that they've given up this year have been counterattacks, have been in transition. And so that's why that's been one of the keys for them in these last few games, that they've been able to snuff that out a little bit, and that's why they're on a 3-match unbeaten streak.
Yuma. Good work along the touchline by Lucho Solignac. What a pass off the heel, Solignac. Zacarias in, looking, but not able to find Miles Lyons. He got a piece of that, but it's over and wide. And some solid defense as well.
Zacarias ranks in the top 10 in all of USL Championship, or at least early in the season, in chances created for Locomotive FC. I don't know if that will go down as a chance, but you see the creativity that he has in that big frame, Duke, as you described, an NFL running back almost, but fantastic in his distribution for El Paso as well.
That was Nate Dos Santos who cut out the pressure at the very last, so Pittsburgh doing its job defensively as well in the early going. The stalemate continues. Locomotive, I think, has created the slightly better looking chances here through the opening 14 minutes or so.
Yeah. And this Pittsburgh defense, you have to give them credit as well. The second best in USL in terms of goals allowed. They've only given up 4 on the season, and this is even better. Just 12 shots on goal this season in 6 matches for the Riverhounds. Now, they will foul a lot. Again, we've already seen a yellow card on Luke Biasi, but they are stout defensively, no doubt.
Locomotive will play for possession, and another foul from behind and a direct kick. This one is on Forbes.
It's Borelli
again. It's Borelli, and he stays down. Pleads his case, the man from Monterrey. Right in front of Brian Clairhout.
Yuma and Dikwa coming together.
Little discussion. Dinner plans, maybe? Maybe not.
I'd take him to L&J personally if I was Yuma.
No, I think so.
Maybe Kiki's.
Absolutely. Two stalwarts. It's the best part about El Paso is any neighborhood you're in, the best Mexican food in town is right around the corner.
Yep.
Yuma. Diaz way off his line, my goodness. The high wire act. And here is Zacarias. And the pass is behind Pakovic. Or Petrovic, excuse me. That's the man you want with the ball at his feet going toward the byline, and that pass was behind him.
And it wouldn't surprise me if he's one of the key players for Pittsburgh tonight, that they cannot allow get in open space. He was in open space constantly against Orange County, and El Paso really could have had 2, 3, maybe even 4 goals just based off of how he was able to free himself up, free others up in that open space. So you have to imagine that Bob Lilly and these Pittsburgh Riverhounds took note of that and aren't going to let that happen for Petrovic tonight.
On the restart, Pittsburgh doing well with the foul won by Forbes. Back to Farrell. Overcooked. And another throw-in for Locomotive. They are forcing Pittsburgh to go long in their passes, and I don't think that if it's to the touch lines, they want it over the top, it seems to me. They want to put that pressure on, but so far Locomotive has not let them really do that. The passes have been wide and not very effective. Yuma, lead ball, and again, Petrovic, not quite on the same page there. Pops out to Ordonez. Ordonez, Dos Santos. They'll have a go. Great cutout by Lyons. Heady play by the 20-year-old, and out it goes.
He's been with El Paso, I think, since 2019, 2020, so on his 3rd head coach. So he's had to, as a young player, figure out different styles of play, different systems, and finally getting that chance at 20 years old. He's been really good, as we talked about earlier.
The Barca Residency Academy continues to impress with the players they have put into the professional ranks. That's a great switch. Nice cutback by Biasi, but he lost a handle on it. Calvillo with him stride for stride. Petrovic. That'll deflect. Out for a Locomotive throw. Switch around, that'll bounce away from Lyons in a Pittsburgh throw again. Dos Santos does the honors. Pittsburgh trying to keep the ball, switch things from side to side. Ordonez again, here's Dos Santos. Harmon and back. Ordonez will switch it wide to the right. Biasi. Chipped out of Diaz. High wire act. Good job by Petrovic to be in there. An easy grab for Diaz in the end.
Two clean sheets now on the season for Diaz, and also 12 saves. A little bit of again, a lot of the goals that were scored early on against Locomotive weren't completely his fault. He's made most of the saves that he's had to, and How about those saves that him and Calvillo made in the first half last year to keep the clean sheet?
Double touch, that was amazing. Thought it was headed in for a tie match.
I think Orange County did too.
I'm sure they did. Amazing to call that, my goodness. Fun match, and it probably was a lot more fun than maybe it needed to be. I thought to myself, sure, yeah, it should be 3-4-0. But 1-0 is 1-0.
I think everybody, again, at Locomotive felt like that was their best performance of the season 2 weeks ago, and they weren't particularly pleased with the bye last week because their form had been so strong. They just wanted to keep playing. And so now, 20 minutes into this match after a week off, I think you are seeing them kind of dust the cobwebs off a little bit here.
Yeah, the passes haven't been that crisp. Pittsburgh with possession again, but again, it's switching side to side. You're not seeing anything go over the top. To this point, things can change in a hurry. Forbes will drop it off for Ordonez again. Trying to penetrate, but Kostishin has that ball. And the foul from Robbie Mertz.
And one of the issues for Pittsburgh early in this season has been, as good as Albert Dikwa has been, 4 goals, he scored 4 of their 7 goals. So they're really looking for some help for him offensively.
Well, Locomotive has certainly been there. The guy that Solignac is tied with currently, Aaron Gomez, certainly helping Locomotive out through some tough times over the years. So they've been where Pittsburgh is, but certainly Dikwa with a hat trick against Memphis a couple of weekends ago. An outstanding player. That'll be a foul on Rose as he takes down Dikwa. Quick on the restart, Mertz running at the back line. Robbie Mertz will slide it to Dos Santos. Pings the ball in. Yuma gets a touch. Mertz gets it back. He'll drop it in behind. Ibarra. Mark Ibarra to the right side now. Dikwa. Lifted out. Liam Rose. And now Locomotive. Trying to get there desperately in the counter, but Kostishin cannot outleg Ordonez to the back. Ordonez, the Spaniard, 25 years old, played at Pitt. That's going to be a foul on Calvillo. Who's going to get a tongue lashing from Malik Badawi, our ref. Taking down Mertz. Calvillo, the El Salvador international. His mom is from El Salvador, which allows him to play for La Selecta.
A really cool, great experience that must be for him to play for the El Salvadorian national team.
I would assume with a bunch of the international slates coming up that he'll be perhaps part of some of those rosters. Always a tremendous honor to play for your country. Locomotive has had at least one do that just about each one of their 5 seasons of existence. Calvillo called into duty a couple of times for La Selecta last season. Back to Forbes. Matt Hogan. Nice cutback, trying to move it forward, but well positioned again, Locomotive. Good job by Rose, who's had a couple of good interventions so far. They keep trying to thread that needle. Dikwa, he appreciates the effort, but there's Rose again. He's the Australian.
Yeah, he and Calvillo in that midfield have worked so well together this season. And I think the fact that they've been able to figure out their defense the last few weeks has been really a credit to those two guys, controlling the midfield.
Ibarra. Ordonez. Mertz. Good pass in, but no. It's going to be an offside flag up on the far side. As Dos Santos just trying to find something, and I think it was the pass to Dos Santos that was off. So it remains a stalemate, but Pittsburgh kind of growing into the match over these last few minutes.
I've got the game stats in front of me. A couple of minutes ago, the possession was 66% in favor of El Paso. Now it's dropped to 57%, 43 for Pittsburgh. So again, as you said, Duke, building into the match, 77% pass accuracy for both squads early on in this one. But we'll see as this match goes on, and we were talking about it before the match off air, how much maybe this altitude, the heat for Pittsburgh, maybe they're not used to it this time of year on the eastern seaboard. Maybe that has an effect.
Of course, Locomotive losing to Pittsburgh last year in Pittsburgh, Highmark Stadium. Of course, I'll take this backdrop to Locomotive soccer any day of the week, any night of the week, certainly. Beautiful downtown El Paso, off behind us here at Southwest University Park, but Highmark Stadium has a pretty solid view of downtown Pittsburgh as well.
If you're going to be a professional sports franchise in Pittsburgh, I think it's a rule that your stadium has to have an incredible view.
And you've got to have gold as part of your colors. That's a great cutout by Yuma. Just wonderful.
Had to do it too. There was players coming in for Pittsburgh that could have been in a goal.
Edward Kizza applying the pressure. Loose ball, Zacarias will get a piece, forces the throw. Section 105 keeping the drum beat all evening long. Those cats don't sit down. Biasi's looking for something, has to go back to Hogan. And now again, back to Farrell. Ordonez. Sprayed wide. Nice opening pass, well cut out again. Eder Borelli. Had to be perfect on that slide. Biasi was headed for pay dirt. And that's why he's in the match. Seems like Eder Borelli, I know he's not the fastest guy out there, and he plays on the wing. So it's like he has to convince every coach who sees him anew that he ought to be in the match. But now that he's in the match, that's one of the things. He never comes back out once he's in.
Yeah, he does the little things. There's one of my favorite basketball players growing up was a guy who played for the Toronto Raptors named Jerome Williams. They called him the Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard.
And Eder Borelli kind of does a similar thing to him.
Petrovic at the back line. Oh, a beautiful pass, but it's behind, and it'll go out for a corner. Lucho was the intended target, but just trying to work out the kinks, and it'll be Petrovic on Locomotive's second corner upcoming.
El Paso hasn't been able to kind of get it outside to Petrovic or to Dennis Castician too much in this match the way they were against Orange County. Maybe that there is a harbinger of what's to come, but Pittsburgh no doubt is keying on that. You can really tell.
True enough. El Paso's number 10, the Ukrainian Dennis Castician, who's barely touched the ball. In swinging ball, knocked out. Good job by Waite again. But here's Castician, delivers the ball in, it's headed back out. Joe Farrell on the spot. Castician draws the pressure from Dos Santos, and that will be a direct kick. And a little more for Robbie Mertz Jr. from Malik Badawi. They know the Ukrainian is hard to handle, and he draws the double team, but gives Locomotive another restart.
El Paso was fairly dangerous off these free kick opportunities 2 weeks ago. Weren't able to hammer one home, but they had a couple of fantastic opportunities. Castician had one of them as well. So we'll see what they elect to do here.
Calvillo also behind the ball, but you would assume it's Castician. In swinging ball to the far post, knocked back in. Zacarias plays for control. Good job by Forbes. Ibarra just trying to handle that hot potato. And here's Luke Biasi. Biasi trying to loft that one long. I don't know if he was attempting to chip Benny Diaz, but nobody in yellow anywhere near.
We've seen Diaz get chipped once earlier this year at Tulsa, but he does this enough. He's confident back there. He knows where his line is, even if he's off of it.
Benny Diaz on loan from Tijuana. With Tijuana in Mexico. Of course, played last season for Oakland Roots. Says he loves Section 105 here in El Paso. Played right in front of him and got his ears full pretty much every minute. So here's Forbes. Over the top, trying to find it. Dikwa crossing, and the header just wide. Edward Kiza, the Ugandan. Touched out by El Paso.
That's a strong defensive play. I think it was Calvillo again.
So corner kick, first of the night for the Riverhounds. Far post delivered. Headed out of trouble by Petrovic. And a little miscommunication. Dos Santos and Mertz. I think the flag was up, the restart from the field, so. That's a dangerous pass. Petrovic, Diaz and Yuma are there. Long ball out of the back, Borelli. Trucking for that is Lucho. Lucho, what a ball to Petrovic, but he's not going to get there in time. Cut out for a throw.
The two of them play off each other so well. They've only been able to play, I think, 3 matches together, and the creativity that they have with both individually and amongst each other has been so fun to see.
There's a good cutout by Zacarias, almost got it back in a dangerous spot, but over the head. Locomotive ball. Dikwa not able to be there in time to keep it in play. Petar Petrovic and Lucho. Looking forward to see what those two create.
And we've heard from Brian Clarehout multiple times this year that he was so tired of playing against Petar Petrovic in Sweden that he wanted him on his team here.
Lucho trying to carry it back. It's wide by Kostishin, doing what he could just to get it there, and it's out off of Kostishin for a Pittsburgh throw.
Just to finish up that point on Petrovic, I asked him if he was liking playing with Brian as opposed to against him now. And he said, you know, he likes the structure that Clarehout has.
Well won by Rose. Petrovic wide for Borelli. Serves one in. It's a little short. Knocked out by Hogan. But again, Locomotive controls. Everybody but Diaz over the halfway stripe. Almost sat for Lucho, but well won in the end by Ordonez. And here comes Pittsburgh. Mertz, Ibarra, and Canardo Forbes. Forbes from Kingston, Jamaica, 34 years of age, the elder statesman for this Rhino squad, but he is outdone by El Paso's Yuma at the ripe young age of 37.
Yeah, you have to have one old man.
Right, you do. At least one.
Whether they play or not, you need to have one just as a mentor almost to the younger players. And if they can play at the level that those two play at their age, it's even better.
37 and still going. and an integral part of Locomotive's defensive line. Here's Forbes over the top to Dikwa. Dikwa's on. The shot is off the side netting. Flag is up. No, it's out for a goal kick.
I think everybody on the defensive line for El Paso there thought what we did, that the flag was going to go up. Everyone kind of stopped, and everybody except Albert Dikwa, who had a good attempt at goal, just pushed it wide.
That was onside, though. Locomotive had better watch itself. Here's the pressure. Good job again by Rose. And he and Calvillo, that was, I think, one of the things that needed to happen for Locomotive, that double pivot at the 6th spot, the defensive midfielder. They needed to hone that. And so far, they really have done the job.
They certainly have, and you'll see them, again, both move into an offensive position, but also Eric Calvillo, with no disrespect to Benny Diaz, he has the save of the year this year for El Paso. Hands down. So it's been really cool to see how well they've been able to figure out how to play off each other in this new system under Brian Clairhout, and it's helped El Paso, again, 3 unbeaten here.
Kakovic trying to get Lyons loose on that right wing. Ibarra, former Michigan man, 24-year-old out of Ann Arbor. Played for the old hometown school. It amazes me, I see student enrollments for places out, especially in the Midwest. Michigan is at what, like 55,000 now? Some unbelievable number.
It's half the size of Las Cruces.
Exactly. In one college campus.
I think Penn State has a campus for the freshmen and sophomores and a campus for the juniors and seniors. And they're like 75,000.
Wow. So there's not as Happy Valley and then Happy Valley.
Yes.
Gotcha. Here's Lucho. Lucho to the touchline, to the byline, pardon me. It's brought over, and that will be a corner kick. But rather than watch the Argentine do his thing, Joe Farrell says, no, we'll take the corner, thank you.
He's the leading goal scorer in El Paso history, again, in just 3 seasons. So you got to take what you can get there.
And it will be Kostishin. Here on the right wing for Locomotive. Ukrainian in his left foot, look for an in-swinging ball here. Knocked into the mixer. Borelli was there, but Borelli outdone by Farrell and put wide. On the bounce, Lyons. Yuma.
I think he was trying, he's laughing about it. I think he was trying to do exactly what he did 2 weeks ago, going for goal off a corner kick that was headed out, and instead he found the feet of Lucho Soloniak, who put it home for El Paso's only goal 2 weeks ago.
That was.
I think he was trying to do the same thing there.
It did look like it wasn't exactly the way he intended it to go, but it certainly worked out. Lucho didn't have anybody within 8 yards of him when he shot the ball. Ooh, that's a huge collision. Nobody looks the worse for wear. We play on. And now it's a foul on Pittsburgh, as Lyons, I think, was taken down. Into the 39th minute here in El Paso, the stalemate continues. But you have to say, Locomotive, a lot like Orange County, has really dominated possession. What a beautiful ball. Petrovic, it's in! Magical! In the blink of an eye, Petar Petrovic, 1-0 Locomotive. The Swede's second of the season, as pretty as you please, and guess who sets it up for him? Dennis Kostishin. 2 touches, my apologies, but it's still a goal. Wow.
We've talked all season about how El Paso has conceded on counterattacks, goals coming out of nothing. Well, there you go. I mean, there's their version of it, and it's the two guys that had arguably their best matches of the season 2 weeks ago against Orange County, and Dennis Kostishin and Petar Petrovic linking up. What a ball from Kostishin from beyond the midfield line. What a touch by Petrovic to bring it in. And then the easiest finish of his life there almost to put it home in his second goal of the year.
Kostishin delivering it on a platter, and Petrovic. This is why Brian Clairhout wanted him in El Paso. And I said, that was one of the points I made after the Orange County matches. We haven't even seen these guys hit full stride yet. You're beginning to see them hit that fifth gear.
And Pittsburgh, for much of the first 40 minutes, have done a really good job, I think, of holding those guys in check, holding them down. All it takes is one moment for Kostishin and for Petrovic. He's unique. Simply put, he's a fantastic player.
Good job by Mertz. Mertz is going to win this. The cross, far post, nobody there. Bernardo Ford's closest to it. Borelli wisely lets it run out for a throw. Liam Rose, the long ball. It's well sorted out, but Locomotive there in the follow-through. Lucho, we're looking for Petrovic along with Zacharias. Little three-man game along that left side. Back to Rose, who started the action. Pakovic, Kostishin. And it's kind of like that sometimes, especially if you're offensive going toward goals. Sometimes you'll see a person be almost invisible in the run of play in a match, and then all of a sudden, snap. Petar Petrovic was that snap. In the 39th minute, the goal, his second of the season, to give Locomotive the 1-0 lead.
And that's something really that we've been told all year that they want to do more of, is play a bit more direct. Haven't completely seen it as much as maybe they've wanted to show it, but there you go right there. I mean, that's as direct of a goal as you're ever going to get.
Kostishin to Petrovic. Just the fifth goal Pittsburgh has allowed this whole season. And the first Locomotive has been able to score against this team. Of course, Pittsburgh winning 1-0 at Highmark Stadium last year.
And I think this El Paso attack may be a little bit different than what they've seen for much of the rest of the season. Again, coming into this match, Duke, just 12 shots allowed by Pittsburgh. Well, 4 for El Paso tonight, 2 of them on target. So they've that's what, 25% of what Pittsburgh has allowed all season from a shots perspective.
Incredible. There you see Bob Lilly, head coach for the Riverhounds. Sixth season in Pittsburgh and 23rd season in the coaching ranks. Here's a guy who knows this business around especially U.S. soccer. They are down, but they are certainly not out. Here's Biasi. Forbes, nice service. Bias, easily enough.
2 minutes to go here until halftime at Southwest University Park. So for El Paso, it's just a matter of being steady and just taking this 1-0 lead into the break, collect yourself at halftime, and come out stronger after that.
You know, it's interesting, Zacharias, he and Petrovic, they're just now switching. Petrovic was out front to lead the attack. So almost a forward there. Zacharias will have that back. Trying to bounce that. Lucho actually put it off of, looks like Robbie Mertz. The long switch over the top to Kizza, too long. That's been Pittsburgh trying to find, and part of it is the narrow confines of Southwest University Park. This is not the widest pitch in the USL. And that does play havoc with teams who want to stretch out long, and the ball's already out by the time you're running under it.
Yeah, certainly if you're not used to it the way El Paso is, it takes a little bit of a time to adjust to.
Well, One of the things I know Mountain Star Sports Group wants to address at some point is finding Locomotive its own place to play. I've heard that. I know that this is a commitment, but
It takes time.
how expensive is a stadium to build? I mean, you're talking 9 figures to put something on the map, 8 to 9 figures. So not the easiest thing.
Maybe you and I pool our money, we'll get there. Maybe like half of a 0.01% of it.
Sure.
There's our donation, folks.
There we go. Happy to give what we can, even if it's just moral support. Well cut out again. Borelli, as Biasi tried to lift that one in. One minute of stoppage time is the official call from the touchline. Photo lifted out for a Pittsburgh throw. Riverhounds trying to start something on this left wing. Lifted in and easily for Benny Diaz from Ordóñez. Seconds to go and a 1-0 Locomotive lead as we close the first half. Diaz over the top. Goalies a play back and forth. Wait to give it back to Ordóñez. Tries a long one over the top. Again to Kizza, who appreciates the effort. But next touch of the ball is probably going to be the last for this first half of play. And there we go. 1-0 at the break. Locomotive FC leading Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Petar Petrovic, his second goal of the season on this beautiful pass out of the back from Dennis Kostishin. 2 touches and it's in. We'll talk more about this and plenty more when we continue right after this.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT.
You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah! I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT.
You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT.
You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to beautiful downtown El Paso, Texas. Our drone shot there. Locomotive FC 1-0 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Duke Keith, along with Colin Deaver, with you from this gorgeous spring evening here in the Sun City as we take a look at our USL storylines. Charleston Battery topping the East, one of only three undefeated teams remaining in the USL Championship. And what a season Charleston Battery has had. Ben Pierman, Coach of the Month for his efforts for Charleston. Of course, Locomotive, next home match is going to be against Loudoun. That's May the 13th. Locomotive on the road for a bit over the next few weeks. But the next Saturday match is going to be against Loudoun United, another Eastern team in El Paso for the first time ever. And the Locomotive Team Shop. Oh boy, have we got some good gear. Those beautiful practice jerseys on display as well. Do check them out on the Locomotive Team Shop. 2023 Locomotive gear in stock now. EPLocomotivefC.com as well. Let's take a look at the standings around the Western Conference. There you see Sac Republic 4-0-2. One of the other undefeated teams, and topping the conference at 14 points, Loyal and San Antonio FC, the defending champs, tied at 11. Switchbacks FC, they've had a pretty solid start. 10 points for them, all in double digits. Monterey Bay, quite nice for Monterey Bay in its second season of existence. 8 points for them. Roots, Locomotive, tied with 7 points, followed by RGV. The playoff line is after 8. Orange County, Phoenix Rising, New Mexico, and Las Vegas Lights, all trying to get to where those top 8 teams are. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have a look at highlights and stats and plenty more from beautiful El Paso, Texas. It's Locomotive FC 1, Riverhounds SC 0. More coming up.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Colin Deaver here with Duke Keith, where El Paso Locomotive FC leads the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1-0 at halftime. About 8 minutes to go until we kick off the second half here in downtown El Paso. Let's take a look at the play of the game so far. The lone goal of the match, Dennis Kostishin over the top. What a touch from Petar Petrovic to control it and then put it home as El Paso takes the lead. This is beautiful. Just whoop over the top. Whoop. See you later. El Paso goes into the break with that 1-0 lead. They currently control possession as well, 56%. Petrovic's second goal of the season. We'll be back with you in just a little bit with some more Locomotive action on ESPN Plus, Straight TV, and KTSM.com.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah! I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome, everybody, back to downtown El Paso. Dance team fun at the half at Southwest University Park. Duke Keith along with Colin Deaver with you. 1-0 Locomotive at the half as we take a look at our first half highlights from this evening. Most of it featuring the team in blue.
Yeah, this is early in the match. Lucho Solignac nearly putting El Paso up 1-0. A fantastic save there from the keeper, Jamali Waite, to keep it even.
Locomotive challenged the other way a couple of times, but deflections. Locomotive has been able to stand in the way of a lot of what Pittsburgh's have been trying to create. Here on the other side, great cross from Zacarias, not able to tie it up for Miles Lyons. Good effort by the 20-year-old. And on the other side, chipping it in, it's just wide. Another great defensive intervention by Locomotive.
Yeah, Lyons there again. I thought it was Calvillo live, but actually Miles Lyons. And then here's the fantastic goal that we just went over. Dennis Kostichin over the top. Petar Petrovic, those two linking up.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Sweden from the Ukrainian lifting Locomotive to a 1-0 lead at the half. So we see the West Star Plaza, or Hunt Plaza rather, and the West Star Bank Building in downtown El Paso. Back with more right after this.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah! I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Oh!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
I'm about to beat your high score.
You're hitting all the top models.
Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Whoa!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome back. It is 1-0 Locomotive FC after our first half of action. Duke Keith along with Colin Deaver, my apologies, as we take a look at the first half statistics. And your halftime stats, the most important one always at the top, but total shots, each team with 4, Locomotive with 2 on target to 1 for Pittsburgh. Inside the box, about the same. It's roughly equal. The possession, obviously favoring Locomotive, 58% to 44%. But it is Locomotive that has looked more explosive today, Colin.
Yeah, and of course getting the goal that was well-deserved. Really at the very end of the half there, the fantastic goal, maybe the goal of the season thus far for El Paso. And now here in the second half, it's something that Brian Clairhout talked about in the lead up to this match on Tuesday. Is 2 weeks ago they had multiple chances to kind of put the game away in the second half, get another goal, maybe 2, and make it a little bit more comfortable. I think that was maybe the discussion at halftime was, hey, we talked about this, what we wanted to do 2 weeks ago. We didn't get it done. Now we've had a chance to look at that film. We've had a chance to take a look at what we did in the first half. Let's right those wrongs from 2 weeks ago.
And I think one of the biggest deals for Locomotive in this half particularly will be just making sure that they continue to do what they've done defensively so far. They've been in front of everything Pittsburgh's attempted to do with 1 or 2 very rare exceptions. So I think a very solid game for Brian Clairhout and Locomotive FC. They're going to want to look to keep that consistency. But you're right. Offensively, they want to score. They want to score a second goal.
Yeah, no doubt. And this guy who's on the screen right now, Petar Petrovic, again, as explosive of a one-on-one player as you will find in USL Championship. Still finding his form, though, coming off an ACL tear last year. Haven't seen the best of him, although that was pretty good there in the first half. Will he get another one in the second half to give El Paso a comfortable lead? We'll find out.
The 27-year-old from Malmo, Sweden, has Locomotive on top 1-0 as we get ready to start the second half. Did play for Malmo in Sweden. This is a team that you'll see routinely in the Champions League, representing that nation. But Petar Petrovic, the man who was a thorn in Brian Clairhout's side more than once in the Swedish professional ranks, and now he has his coach elated, to be sure. Malik Badawi blows the whistle, and we are underway for half number 2. And here is Petrovic. Space-eating run. He'll take it himself. The cross immediately to the far side. Nobody in blue on the other end of that. And it's just that dangerous. Pat Hogan is going, wait a minute. He has Hogan on skates.
Man, I was sitting down in the locker room 2 minutes ago. Give it a rest, Petar.
Picking up right where he left off in the first half. Calvillo with a good touch, but it will go to Pittsburgh.
And when he's able to get out in open space, as you saw right there, as dynamic of a player as we've seen play for El Paso in the 5-year history of the club almost. And it's only been 6 or 7 matches into this year with him.
Incredible. Canado Forbes pushing that one up and over Dos Santos. Forbes a part of the USL Team of the Week. Got an assist in that win versus RGV. Actually a headed goal versus RGV. It was just his second header in 9 seasons.
And both those goals that Pittsburgh scored last week came in the second half. So that's what El Paso really needs to guard against early on in this second half. This first 5 minutes, just kind of control the pace of play and don't let Pittsburgh get on the board in the second half like they did a week ago to get that win against RGV.
Forbes, a 6-time all USL selection. Championship assist leader with 55. He's trying to get the ball touched again as Luke Biasi does some work. Biasi's first professional season he has to give off here. Petrovic trying to spring Kostishin. We have good touchline mics. Really good touchline mics. And our A1, Chris Kinane, does an outstanding job of bringing you all of the action. Good control by Kizza. Forbes will switch it out to the left. Dos Santos. Pull back again. That's a good ball over the top. In tight, flag is up. It doesn't matter. Got that one over for Biasi, and it was a dangerous move, but Locomotive's back line holds. Offside is the call.
As good of a build-up play as we've seen from Pittsburgh, though, tonight to set that up again. Offsides, but maybe a harbinger of what's to come for them. Maybe some adjustments that they made at halftime, too.
What this discussion was about, Malik Badawi and Benny Diaz. Gives us an opportunity to tell you that Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder, a Winder in the reigning Eastern Conference winners, Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season on USL on ESPN Saturday, May 13th, 5 p.m. on ESPN2. Albert Dikwa with a touch, but well on his own half of the pitch, and I think that's the way Locomotive would like to keep those touches for Pittsburgh's number 9. This one bounces kindly for Los Santos, but Liam Rose is there again. He's had a solid match tonight defensively.
You know, it just seems like he's never out of place. He's always exactly where you want him to be, making the plays that he has to play.
Certainly has been this season. There's Forbes again, Pittsburgh with possession, but finding the entryways into the area has been difficult. Nicely knocked ball over the bar. They got it into Dikwa. It's a solid bit of service as well from Ibarra. And that's how dangerous Pittsburgh could be. Dikwa pleading his case for the penalty, but sprays the ball over the crossbar.
Cameroonian's a big body in there, 6'1". I mean, he can rise up too for those headers. So
25 years old from Garua, Cameroon. Former member of St. Louis FC.
He's really found a home with Pittsburgh. 11 goals last year, already 4 this year. Was good with St. Louis, but has really figured out as he's come of age in his mid-20s with Pittsburgh. And this year he's been their top goal scorer, their most important player on the attack.
Has a lot to do with Dikwa, but has a lot to do with Bob Lilly as well. Well-respected coach. Here's Petrovic running at the back line and firmly met by Pat Hogan. Well won. Petrovic goes down. Dos Santos. Knocked through the middle. Diqua back for Forbes, but backed off by Calvillo. They will get it out and switch to Biasi, but here's Eder Borelli again. Borelli has been important for Locomotive defensively. Usually known for serving up those balls in from the wings, but he's been exactly what Locomotive has needed at left back tonight. Forward, too tall for Lucho, but into the path of Rose. Pakovic back there with Rose in the back to Borelli now. He'll switch it. Lucho can't hang on to that one.
Borelli had a little more time, I think, than he thought he did to just carry the ball a little bit more. But that's what you'll see. We've seen El Paso do it not only with Borelli. Mark Novato did it a lot. Miles Lyons. They love to get those left backs, those right backs up the line and do the attack to see what they can do as well.
Here's Calvillo. Knocked down for Rose. He'll try to chip the keeper, but it's well over. He just wanted to loft it to that far corner, but wasn't able to find the touch. As we pointed out, Riverhounds SC making its third ever appearance in El Paso. Not versus Locomotive, but versus the El Paso Patriots back in 2001. Here's Forbes. Hogan to the right side and Biasi. Back it comes, the touch easily stopped by the big man, Pat Hogan. 6'3" out of Matthews, North Carolina.
Comfortable in the end there for Benny Diaz, though. And we've talked about him a lot this year, Duke, but just continues seemingly getting stronger with every game, has Benny Diaz.
And wonderful to see that he and his teammates have been able to get a couple of clean sheets this season, especially with the start of the season and the 3 losses Locomotive had. The team captain, Kenardo Forbes. He'll start it to Biasi. Biasi heaves one to the far post. Lions will knock it out. Back with it is Dos Santos, fed into the box, and it's a foul as Yuma's taken down by Kiza. And Yuma is showing indications that he is hurt. We'll have a nod to the doc. Ricardo Ruiz on to take a look, along with Andres Rivera.
Yeah, it looked like his right calf got stepped on as they tried to go up for the header.
Well, 37-year-old team captain for Locomotive FC is nothing if not a tough cookie. The Spaniard back up under his own steam, it looks like, but he is in some discomfort. As section 105 and 8th notch begin the chant of Yuma. You'll have to spend a little time on the touch line. But it doesn't look like Brian Clairhout will sub him off.
And no substitutions either way yet for El Paso or Pittsburgh. We discussed in the first half, Duke, whether this heat, this altitude may force Pittsburgh to maybe make more substitutions than they normally would, but thus far, 55, 56 minutes in, they're yet to make one.
Yuma being told by Malik Badawi he has to come in from the touch line, not the byline. So he'll work his way back to the middle of the pitch. And he's waved back on. That's a foul on Locomotive. Zacarias in a little too tight on Ordonez. And We are hearing that Petar Petrovic is about ready to make way for Mark Navarro. Spaniard, former EPL and La Liga veteran. Great to see him on the bench to start tonight, and he's going to get into the match here. Off target of that pass to Biasi, or Biasi, pardon me. Petrovic and Borelli starting this. And there you see the Spaniard, right at the midfield stripe. Lucho not on the same page there, and this will allow for the substitution. It will happen in the 58th minute for Locomotive FC. Mark Navarro welcomed back by the Southwest University Park faithful. And Petar Petrovic will certainly get his round of applause.
Interesting substitution there for Locomotive, but the goal scorer for El Paso tonight going out in the 58th as Mark Navarro makes his return.
That's great to see. Obviously, we saw him in a number of pictures issued by Locomotive on social media this week. Good thought for a lead ball, and Mark Navarro will escort this one out for a Locomotive throw. Section 105 doing its thing. This will be a Pittsburgh throw here. Well done by Mertz. Dos Santos. Foul won by Lucho. And it seems a little early for Petrovic to have come off, so hopefully nothing in terms of health at issue. What a ball. Costician too far ahead though for Lions out of the right side.
It doesn't look like he's dealing with anything. I mean, he went off on this far side and kind of taken the slow walk back to the bench, but you know, maybe for Brian Clearhout, just a change to preserve the goal. You know, you have a 1-0 lead at home, 30 minutes to play basically. Get Navarro back out there. They do like to have Navarro push up anyways. So maybe, you know, maybe you gain a little bit on the defense, but you don't lose that much offensively as well, because Navarro does push forward and he does rank among the league's best in creating chances.
Yuma apparently unaffected. Pakovic trying to get that one up to Borelli, but he was surrounded. Perhaps Borelli a little more forward than he has been. Pakovic again. That's taken away. And a direct kick coming for Pittsburgh. Good job defensively by Biasi. As Kiza taken down. And another substitution. And coming off will be Pat Hogan to be replaced by DZ Harmon. Harmon, the Liberian, played last with the Charleston Battery. 6'2", and I think Bob Lilly looking for somebody on the end of crosses, maybe.
Yeah, certainly looking for a goal here. Down a goal in the second half, 30 minutes to go. So maybe seeing a little bit of a chess match here as El Paso going a little more defensive. Now Pittsburgh making their move to be a little bit more offensive.
And it'll be Forbes here in the restart. Forbes to the far post. Easily grabbed by the Route 1, looking for Costician. Does well to trap it. I think they wanted a handball. We play on. Perhaps advantage played there. Riverhounds. Knocked loose by Borelli. Waite will start it along their left wing. Dionysius D.Z. Harmon. Dionysius, the leader of ancient Syracuse. I had to look that up because I just, like, what a name. Almost fell to him, but well done by Eder Borelli. He won't clear the danger. Forbes back with it. Borelli again. Nicely chipped to Lucho, trying to control. Pittsburgh with numbers, though. Joe Farrell gets it going. Mark Ibarra to Forbes. Forbes looking for service. In for DZ Harmon, or rather Tola Shuonmi, who's also in the match as well.
That came in for Edward Kissett, that last substitution. At the same time as we were talking about DZ Harmon, he snuck into the game as well.
And a caution to be issued here for Harmon, who has only spent a couple of minutes on the pitch.
That's Borelli again. The second yellow he's drawn. He's taking a beating.
Borelli. Oh, and that's a shove to the shoulder. That is the right shoulder that was dislocated horribly on the road at Oakland. Kept him out of the lineup. He had gotten to the point where he thought his season might be over. He might need to get it operated on. Elected to stay the course. Fortunately, they discovered that he didn't need any more surgery, but that shove to the right shoulder hurts. And Eder Borelli saying that he still has some discomfort in that area.
It looks like their physio was touching his cheek and neck area as well, so it may have been a couple of different things that got him as well. But terrible shoulder injury, like you said, Duke, last year, and was able to play through it. Again, the junkyard dog for El Paso. He does a little bit of everything and just is a bulldog out there for them.
So the shot to the chin area, it's not the shoulder, it appears. But he landed on it. Was trying to brace himself along the fall, but the shot to the chops is going to earn DZ Harmon a yellow. And Locomotive the free kick, although Pittsburgh none the worse for wear. Here's Forbes. Forbes played nicely. Shawunmi trying to get there, but so is Yuma. Yuma gets the touch, and out it will roll. Corner kick. But Yuma decisive, and he needed to be.
Dikwa wanted the foul there, but that's just good defending from Yuma in the end. Still out for a corner. The possession of Duke has actually flipped Pittsburgh's way. 51% of the possession now for Pittsburgh, as they've controlled much of the last 10 minutes in that regard.
Here's the service by Mertz. Mertz outswinging ball. Nodded clear by Navarro. Decisive there as well. Forbes. The restart lifted in. Yuma clears it out. Ibarra, who delivered the last service, with it there. Rose skips away from him to Forbes, through ball. Knocked back out by Pakovic. Kostitian on the run. Pakovic trying to provide some help, and that is going to be a foul. And a talking to. Definitely a professional foul by Joe Farrell, and he will earn the caution in minute 66.
From our angle, Duke, on that last near through ball in, incredibly important cutout there by Bense Pakovic, because it looked like on the backdoor cut of sorts they were going to be in a goal for a second, and he was there.
Well, Kostitian draws the contact, and Locomotive a little breathing room, but certainly Pittsburgh has controlled things for the opening 20 minutes plus of this second half. It'll be Rose on the restart. Pakovic, played in nicely by Borelli. Pakovic to the far posts, over the byline.
And we've seen that quite a bit this year. The center defenders for Locomotive pushing up. Pakovic been strong in that regard for them in terms of playing his defensive position, but also has the ability to move forward.
Overlapping runs from the wing. That one tucked in, of course, from Pakovic, but still up from his defensive posture usually. Fed up by Biasi. Good effort by Lions. Quickly on the throw. Dikwa. Showunmi. Ibarra the switch. It comes for Harmon. Harmon deflected. Borelli there again, and another corner. Pittsburgh keeps the pressure on.
Just 7 goals on the season for Pittsburgh, Duke, but this has been as much pressure as they've applied all game long. El Paso really on their heels a little bit right now.
It'll be Mertz. Outswinger again. Well met by Navarro again. Jumping ball taken by Dikwa. Good effort by Zwetsloot, who's checked in as well. Bounces kindly for Showunmi, trying to make the turn. Double teamed by Lions and Yuma, and out it goes. Long ball, up and over. It bounces for Lucho. All he's got to do is guide it home. It's just that easy. Navarro out of the back spot, and Lucho up the pitch, and it's 2-0 Locomotive.
That's certainly the fear you have when you push Benny Diaz forward for Locomotive, because that's exactly what can happen. You get caught on your back foot completely against the run of play there. Pittsburgh had everything going for them for the last 10 minutes, and now El Paso, out of nothing, Duke, the 2-goal lead. And for Lucho Stolaniak, he now has the most goals in franchise history across all competition.
The #1 goal scorer all time for Locomotive FC. And what an absolute gift. You've got to say, Jamali Waite had to get that right, completely misjudged it, and that man is not going to make the mistake. Once he gets loose. 2-0 Locomotive in the 69th minute, and we have a new all-time leading goal scorer for El Paso Locomotive FC.
4th goal of the season for Lucho Stolaniak. He probably hasn't scored an easier goal in his entire life.
I can't imagine he has.
And now, if you're Pittsburgh, 20 minutes left in the match, Duke, they're already a club that has struggled to score early in the season. 7 goals on the year, 4 of them by one player. You're really up against it now.
We're hearing Chap Herrera's about to make his way into the match. 30th goal for Lucho. The Argentine, Borelli, will draw the foul. I have to say that looked a little dramatic. DZ Harmon caught a little bit by Borelli. Yuma not the only guy who can apply the dark arts when he needs to. Borelli, the longtime veteran of Liga MX. Long ball over the top again. Well cut out by Hogan with Zacarias. Here's Hogan. Aron Gomez about ready to be on as well. Double sub coming for Locomotive. And we will have that substitution now. We're in minute 72. So, can Aron Gomez reclaim a piece of the crown? We will see. Dennis Costician. Off for Gomez.
Chapareta as well coming in. It'll be Ricardo Zacharias going out up top.
So Gomez taking Zacharias' place, certainly. And more of a defensive substitution. The El Paso native. Wonderful to see him back in action this year after suffering his ACL tear last year. Over the top. That's going to be too tall. Even for the lanky Tola Shawunmi. The Englishman, 6'3", played his college soccer at the University of New Hampshire, just 22 years old. Locomotive starting the Ole chant. Brian Clairhout likes what he sees from his team. Another throw in. You feel bad for Jamali Waite, but something like that and you're way off your line, you just have to get it right. He didn't, and this ball will bounce. Another turnover. Borelli running at the byline. He has it go. And that'll go out for a goal kick.
Kind of fell to him again. I mean, a mistake by Pittsburgh, and Borelli from his defender position. Hey, you only get so many shots at goal as a defender. You got to take it where you can get it.
He did it, but well wide. Nowhere near on frame. Nobody really came up to challenge much. Why not take your crack? Harmon, good keep. Under pressure. Biasi. That's going to be a foul on Lions. Came in a little too hot and heavy on Dos Santos. Restart. Kind of near the edge of an area where it might be dangerous. Might be too far off the byline to really make something of this, but certainly Mark Ibarra can try. 24-year-old Michigan man. Will play it to Forbes. Skips up on him and Forbes elects to go back. Dos Santos. Running out of room on that right side touchline, DZ Harmon. Has to go back and they'll go the other way. Forbes. Lofted over the top. Lions with a touch. Nicely pushed down by Shawunmi. For Biasi. Now into the middle. Oh, well stripped away. Pakovic. Taken away in turn. Dos Santos shows his form. Harmon. The keep as Borelli goes down. Harmon draws the double team. Still making moves. Great touch by Calvillo. Harmon takes a tumble, but we play on. Borelli deflected. There to gather is Benny Diaz.
You're certainly going to see Pittsburgh turn the pressure up in the last 15 minutes here. Of course, down 2 goals, but thus far the defending by Locomotive, especially there by Benze Pakovic. Again, we've said it a few times. You got to be perfect in that situation, and he was that.
Locomotive has been able to successfully walk that defensive tightrope to this point. And honestly, how good have the subs been? I mean, defensively, Locomotive has started to try and lock things down. Pass from Liam Rose doesn't go where he wanted it to. Here's Mertz. Harmon, good angle. Mertz into the middle, and it's behind where they wanted to play it. Tiqua was there. Great cutout by Mark Navarro. Chapa and Navarro and Yuma. One of the things I love about the World's game is just how much of the world you see. There's the Argentine Lucho, the Australian Liam Rose, Calvillo, Los Angelino, but of course, member of the El Salvador national team, Miles Lyons from here in the U.S. Pakovic, the Hungarian. You've got two Spaniards in the back line, and Navarro and Yuma.
Couple of
Dogs and
Swedes
cats
as
living
well.
together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, and I love too at Southwest University Park, they hang the flag of each country that is represented by the team out in what would be center field if it were configured for baseball. But really cool to see.
Of course, Mexico and the United States always well represented here, but Brian Clairhout is certainly having an effect on this team. They have come together nicely, leading 2-0 here as we're about to enter the 79th minute. But here is DZ Harmon. Harmon, nicely done to cut back, sends one through, touched by the S. They got it to Showunmi, and Showunmi is going to be whistled for the foul as he takes down Yuma.
Another fantastic save there from Benny Diaz in a situation where a lot of folks for El Paso's defense had their hands up wanting an offsides, but Diaz just played the ball and made the save that he had to make.
So for the Riverhounds, DZ Harmon's being taken off and replaced by Burke Failing. Also, Dos Santos night is done. Replacing him is Langston Blackstock, 6'2" out of Marietta, Georgia. Another big forward for Bob Lilly. Not content here in El Paso, Texas, to just deal with what he's got. Bob Lilly's trying to flip the script. And I think the Locomotive bench is going to receive a yellow card. Dennis Castician, a big smile on his face, but he's getting the caution because he kept that ball moving away from the Locomotive bench. Delay of game.
Brian Clairhout standing up for his guy there on the sideline, though. Good to see that.
I wonder if, like, the New Jersey really comes out in Brian Clairhout when he's showing his discomfort and anger. Not able to keep it in, it'll be a Locomotive throw.
Yeah, when that accent gets going, it gets going, that's
hey,
for
man.
sure.
How you doing?
Hey, man. Don't be coming here giving my players yellow cards.
Look at you.
Even if he may have earned it, you know.
Castician, oh, little Matador move. That earns him the yellow.
I don't know.
I don't know either. He never touched the ball or made contact with the Pittsburgh players. So maybe one of the more amusing cautions he's ever been issued.
You think Brian's going to be mad at us for impersonating him?
I'm sure I think secretly all New Yorkers and New Jerseyers love it.
I hope he doesn't see it personally.
Well, it'll be well after the press conference, Colin, I can tell you that. Forbes takes down Lucho. And Locomotive with another restart, certainly now. Edging ever closer to the 82nd minute, Locomotive will take these stops, as many and as often as they can find them.
If this result holds, Duke, El Paso would move up from 7th to 6th in the Western Conference standings, be sitting on 10 points. And after that 0-3 start in 7 days to the year, that's as good of a position, I think, as they could have hoped to be in if this holds.
Aaron Gomez draws the contact. Liam Rose will have about 5 thoughts about where he wants to send the ball before he comes back into play. Borelli to Rose. Draws the contact, and Ikwe can't believe it. Navarro over the top. Lions trying to get there. He will not. Wait is waiting. Lucho Solignac, 30 goals to lead everyone in the history of Locomotive soccer. All 5 seasons now, he is on top and still out there with his teammate who held the record prior, Aaron Gomez.
To me, the most impressive thing about Lucho Solignac's scoring ability for El Paso has just been his consistency and his efficiency with doing it. Scored on 30% of his chances last year. Don't have the updated stats for tonight just yet on that, but he's been just as good, if not better, this year.
It'll be a Pittsburgh throw. Certainly impressive. Came into El Paso averaging a goal every other game. And is sent off to the races here by Lions, but it doesn't last long. Again, Pittsburgh trying to penetrate. They cannot find Ikwe. Burke failing. Lucho. Back it comes to Chapa. Navarro. Bence Pakovic. Borelli with some space. To Calvillo. Headed for the 85th minute, and Locomotive firmly a hold of this game. Veteran move by Borelli to earn the throw.
And really, since that goal that was gifted to El Paso, Pittsburgh has kind of had the life sucked out of them, because I thought they were trending towards potentially equalizing before that mistake.
Yuma doing well to stay in front. Great stop by Diaz against Ikwe, and he rolls the ball forward to move it out of trouble. Lions, Lucho. Pittsburgh will have it back, but way off his line, Benny Diaz. Paused that one down from Ikwe. Trying to go up and over. That's going to be Calvillo, and will probably be a caution as he takes down Failing. That is a caution. Persistent infringement entering the 86th minute.
Look at the replay there. Trying to chip it over Diaz, and has had to be perfect.
Benny Diaz, so far so good. Here's Forbes again. Far post and Diaz, easy hands. I think one of the more impressive things has been watching Locomotive really kind of deny Pittsburgh the crosses into the box they want. And that man, El Paso's number 1, Benny Diaz, has made a difference tonight. Chapa. Liam Rose, nice sidestep, will be taken down and draws contact from Mertz. A thoroughly frustrating evening for Pittsburgh, which looked ascendant. Frankly, the first 20 minutes of the second half was all black and gold.
Yeah, they took over, again, the possession statistics almost because of how dominant they were that first 20 minutes, but giving away that gift of a goal. And to your point a second ago about the way El Paso has been able to cut out crosses defensively, that size that they now have on their defensive back line has been key.
Shawunmi, knifed out by Yuma. It'll be a Pittsburgh throw. Failing to throw in. Shawunmi, nice job to get it in the middle. Navarro again. Bounces loose of Dequel. Failing. Crossed at Benedias again.
Pittsburgh's looking dangerous again in every single cross in. Potential attempt on goal, Diaz has had a hand on.
Diaz. Nicely chipped up again to Lucho. Aron Gomez applying pressure. Lucho almost there. That's a great job by Mark Ibarra, recognizing the danger of the Argentine lurking right behind it. Lucho gets that ball, it's liable to be 3-0.
And part of that too is Aron Gomez, so fit and he's so good at being a pest in situations like this where you're trying to just run the clock a little bit. And you know, you bring him in for the final 20, 25 minutes and he's fit enough to run around like a chicken with his head cut off.
He's amazing defensively and offensively, as we've said before. Great ball by Chapa out to the right side. We'll finish that thought in a bit. Lions has to go out to get it. Calvillo slides it forward. Lucho offside. I was about to say Aron Gomez, the world's only box-to-box forward.
You could put it probably anywhere on the field and he'd be productive in some way.
Offensively, everywhere. Jamali Waite, the Jamaican. Eighth notch in full voice as we enter the 90th minute. Locomotive on the verge of another win. Failing. Bounced loose from Ibarra. Aron Gomez, where he needed to be defensively. Lucho trying to draw the contact. Gets taken out. That's an excellent slide by Trevor Svetslut, the New Zealander. Forward, and that is not where Pittsburgh wanted the ball to go. What we're hearing is 4 minutes of stoppage time. Langston Blackstock let that one go up the way, and nobody in black and gray nearby. And receiving a caution was Lucho.
I didn't see what happened.
Me neither. Well, I mean, the ball's on the other side of the pitch.
Perhaps something that happened earlier on.
Maybe, yeah, for a prior foul, that could be. Or maybe a little extra in the lip department. Signal is in. It is officially 4 minutes of stoppage time. Gets loose of Aron Gomez. Looks disappointed. He wanted more of a piece of that. But 1 minute gone just about for Pittsburgh. Failing. Forbes, the stalwart. He's been in the whole way. Shawunmi, nice handling. Pretty solid for a big man. 6'3". That bounces kindly. Looking to come back as Mertz gives it off, and one move too many. Lions will chip it away. Pittsburgh wants the foul. They're not going to get it. Down to the box, or at the edge of the box, is Mark Ibarra. And that will be a caution on Pat Hogan. Strike at Arturo Ordóñez. So Ordóñez, as he takes down Chapa, earns Locomotive a free kick.
Pittsburgh came into this match with the most fouls in all of USL, over 90 fouls in just, 6 or 7 matches early in the season. And that certainly played out this in this match tonight. As good as they can be defensively, they do foul quite a bit.
Amazing to think Locomotive has scored 2 against a team that's only allowed 4 prior to tonight.
And certainly the second one was beyond a gift, but the first goal they scored in the first half, as good of a goal as you will ever see at this level. And
Miles
really any
Lyons doing some work on that touchline. He's going to have to go to work again. That'll bounce harmlessly, though, into Benny Diaz. Desperately trying to find something in the box, Langston Blackstock. And around 90 seconds, of course, that is at Malik Badawi's pleasure. The final whistle.
Play.
And they are going to whistle a foul here, it looks like. No, we're going to have a sub.
Nick Hines for Borelli.
Nick Hines to replace Eder Borelli, who had the start, and takes a chop to the face. Borelli will stay on that side of the pitch as he shakes hands with Arturo Ordóñez, Spaniard. Back it comes, Waite under pressure again from Chapa. And a caution is going to be issued to Chapa Herrera as he makes contact with Waite here in stoppage time. But Locomotive seconds away from a second straight win here at Southwest University Park. Restart from the back. This might be the last touch of the match. And that is it. Locomotive 2-0 winners over Pittsburgh. A third clean sheet for Benny Diaz. A second straight here at Southwest University Park. And a second straight win. And 6th place in the West.
That's now 4 unbeaten for El Paso as well in USL Championship after 3 consecutive defeats to open the season. They've really righted the ship under first-year head coach Brian Clare out. Tonight wasn't perfect by any means. Certainly some things that I think that they will want to work out. That 20-minute stretch in the second half where Pittsburgh looks really strong, but you get that second goal from Lucho Solonyak, the first one from Petar Petrovic, and you're on your way.
This is the one that set it all off. Dennis Kostishin out of the back. Petrovic, 2 touches into the back of the net for his second of the season. And then this absolute gift, misjudged by Waite, rolled in by Lucho. 2-0 Locomotive, as thorough as we've seen in terms of victories. Back with more.
I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Whoa!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah! I'm about to beat your high score. You're hitting all the top models. Yeah, well, watch this. That's a little freaky. Hey, I'm about ready to hit some deals. Whoa!
Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. You'll always score a great deal when you shop at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain with 3 convenient locations in El Paso. Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park, happy tonight on this Saturday evening in the Sun City. 2-0, Locomotive FC over Riverhounds SC. Duke Keith, along with Colin Deaver with you. And we're about ready to do our estrellas of the match. And I say, that's right, that's plural, estrellas of the match. Very impressive this evening from both Petar Petrovic and Lucho Solignac. They will be our estrellas of the match, both of the goal scorers this evening. Outstanding effort by Locomotive FC tonight, Colin.
Yeah, that first half really strong as they worked their way back into the match after the 2-week layoff. And again, I go back to that goal that Petar Petrovic scored, one of the best maybe of the season thus far. That long ball from Dennis Kostishin that he was able to get on the end of, and then the gift that Lucho Solignac scored to put him as the leading goal scorer in club history across all competitions. So really a good game for El Paso coming back after the bye week. Like I said before the break, some things they'll certainly want to clean up, but fantastic to get the victory again, 4 unbeaten.
Estrellas of the match coming up. Let's go ahead and go down to the pitch.
Locos, give it up for tonight's Estrella of the match, Petar. Petar, big goal for you tonight and your first goal here at home. What did you see in that pass?
No, it was a fantastic ball from Dennis. I ran behind the back line and I finished. It was a nice finish.
You mentioned that you didn't want a week off because the team was in good form. What was working for you guys tonight?
No, I think we are in a good form. We play fantastic football just now and we have to continue to do it.
Big energy here tonight at the stadium. Another goal from Lucho. How much fun are you having tonight and what do you have to say to the fans here tonight at the stadium?
First of all, I have to say that Lucho is a fantastic player and the fans are also fantastic. Thank you for helping us here.
Hey, thank you so much. Great game tonight, Petar. Amazing. Now we're going to bring in Lucho.
Lucho there with Luchito.
He's coming. Baby duty.
Daddy duty for Lucho Solignac. And here we go.
Okay, Lucho, I feel like it's becoming a tradition for you and I to be here. Second time in a row. Lucho, you have the most goals in Locomotive history. How do you feel about that accomplishment?
Amazing. Happy. It's a big achievement. Personally, I work hard for this. But like I always say, this is a team sport, and I never could be here without my teammates. I think tonight's performance was solid.
You said you feel like a big part of the city and the success of this club. How proud of you what's happening with Locomotive?
Say again, I didn't hear
You said that you feel like a big part of the city and the club as well. How do you feel about what's happening with Locomotive?
Like I said before, amazing. Playing here with our fans, it's amazing. They support us. I said it before, it's easy to support a team that wins every weekend, and that wasn't us the first couple games. So they stick with us, they support us, they gave us that extra energy for us to keep fighting for the team.
Thank you. Now we're gonna have you also sign the poster and the ball and your Estrella of the Match trophy.
Very nice, Lucho Solignac and Petar Petrovic, your Estrellas of the match this evening, Colin, and why not have two? Because they both certainly deserved it.
I was waiting to say this until the end of the broadcast. Petar Petrovic actually predicted this win. He said, we are going to win on Saturday, back on Tuesday. Well, he was accurate. He did not predict that he was going to be man of the match, Estrella of the match. Maybe he should have. Maybe he will next time. But
Well
he called
done.
his shot, and they got the win.
The Brian Birds home selling team moving into the next match. Locomotive heading west to San Diego. They've been playing well toward the top of the table. That match is April 29th. That's 8 p.m. And Loudoun United the next home match, Colin.
Yeah, they got a victory at Loudoun United last year, and on the road in the Washington, D.C. area. We'll see if they can make it 2 consecutive wins over Loudoun United in a couple weeks.
On to Torero Stadium in San Diego next weekend, though, and we certainly hope you join us via ESPN Plus. Not us per se, but of course they'll have the viewing match at the Pub Club party as Locomotive FC tonight. 2-0 winners over Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC to move to 6th in the Western Conference. Another clean sheet for Benny Diaz. For Colin Deaver, for all of our crew here, executive producer Juan Gutierrez and company, I'm Duke Keith. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship. Championship cannot be retransmitted.